What's up, y'all? Shout out the new merch, man. It's here, it's here, it's here. Go ahead and go to thatman.store. That's thatman.store. And you can get the hand down, man down merchandise right now. Go ahead and click that, man. We appreciate y'all.
That's cool.
Welcome to another episode of the Mark Jackson Show. I'm Mark Jackson. That's the dynamic one, my guy Bluu. We're in the Come and Talk to Me network. Shout out to my guys Cam and Mace. Let's pay some bills first, Bluu.
I got you, Pop. Shouts out to Underdog. Go ahead and click the link in the description and use the promo code MARK. They're matching a first-time deposit of up to $1,000, and they'll give you a specialty pick. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Pops, it is a big day. We got a lot to get into. Let me know where you want to start, man.
I'm yours to answer any questions that you have for me. I know the fans have a lot of questions, and the NBA is a crucial time where decisions got to be made as far as who can win, who can't. So let's just fire away.
Well, first off, how you doing today?
Oh, thank you for asking. 10 minutes into the show. Everything's well, man. You doing good?
You just throw it to me like I'm a wind-up dog. Like, hey, go do the sponsorship every time. Like, what? I'm just saying, how are you doing? You good?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for asking. I'm really excited about what we've been doing with the show and the incredible guests that we've been able to continue to have on the show. Feedback has been phenomenal. We appreciate the love and support from the viewers, and let's keep it going.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm glad that you asked how I'm doing. I'm cool. I'm all right. I appreciate you. I think what? I'm just saying. I'm glad you think about me sometimes too. I think lately you didn't ask, but I'm gonna give you my thoughts. I'm okay. Things seem a little weird.
Hold up, time out. I did ask, and then I continued to follow up answering your question. But I did ask. When you rewind it, you'll go in there.
Okay, well, I appreciate you asking. I'm gonna give you how things have been. I don't know if it's just me. It's been a difficult last month. Things don't seem that normal. It's a lot of stuff going on I can't put my finger on across the NBA, across the league. I'm getting TikToks sent to me about conspiracy theories about LeBron James. TikTok, it's time for it to be banned, I guess, because it's taking it too far. I don't need to hear these things. This is where I draw the line. I'm getting people. It's just Bronny dropping 30. I look up. The only thing that's making me look up and watch the NBA and be like, okay, this is real, is that I look down. And this is something that I learned through my therapy. Sometimes you got to be grounded when things seem like it's crazy. I go to the NBA standings. I go all the way to the bottom, and I see the Washington Wizards, and it lets me know that things are normal and that things are just. That's just
shots fired.
Are the Wizards not terrible right now? I'm watching these games, Pops. It's the level of basketball that they playing. Jordan Poole pointing at people when they on the floor and then throwing it to his teammate. They're not trying to win, man. They're not really trying to win.
I'm glad you brought that up because that wasn't on the script, but you are 1,000% right. What you cannot accept that. You cannot tolerate that. The way they don't compete, the way they don't defend, the inconsistency, they don't take it serious. You cross the guy over, you point at him, and you blow up. You don't take the open shot, and you have to force to throw it up because you went to. That's a timeout. That's a substitution. That's a correction. That's what's going to be tolerated and what's not going to be tolerated. That's when you develop bad losing habits and losing mentality and an awful culture, and that should not be acceptable. And it really prolongs the amount of time you're going to stay in last place on the bottom, have no hope as a franchise. It's unacceptable across the board.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I don't mean to interrupt you. That goes for management, ownership, coaches, and players that are leaders in that locker room, holding him accountable and checking him. You don't have to be the best player to do that. I wasn't the best player on the Knicks. I wasn't the best player on the Pacers. I wasn't the best player on a lot of teams I played for. But I was a leader. I was a voice. And when we set the standard of what would be acceptable and what wasn't acceptable.
That's true. Pops, I'm going to continue letting you know how I've been. There's some other stuff that's been throwing me off, man. What's up, man? This is my moment.
I just remembered you when we used to play 2-3 times a week. You'd cross a guy over and look at him.
And then then what would happen? I get the bucket.
Yeah, but I'm not accepting that because you made the bucket.
No, you accepting it. Because if Steph crossed a dude and then point and then hit it, you're gonna be the first one like that was a crazy highlight. So if you finish it, we love it. We've seen dudes make the play, but then make the bucket. It's not. It is. I get what you're saying. You can't pick and choose when you accept it or not. I understand.
I get what you're saying too, because I would accept it with Steph.
That's what. Look, as I was saying though, it's been some other things that's on my mind, man. I turn on the game, I watch the Warriors, and I know it's news of a trade, a Schroeder coming to the Warriors. But before this trade happened, I already was clicking on the TV, and I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. Why is Draymond Green coming off the bench for the Golden State Warriors? And do you agree with this decision?
It's a great question, and I have tremendous respect for Steve Kerr. He's one of the all-time great coaches, not just in basketball but in sports in general. Continues to do an incredible job. This team continues to overachieve and championship mentality, and he's incredible. But I don't agree with Draymond Green not starting. There is no way possible that this Warriors team, as currently constructed, and that's adding Schroeder too. So this Golden State Warrior team that I'm looking at today, there's no way they stand a chance of being relevant and winning at a high level if Draymond Green is not starting it's not starting the ball game. And the reason why, you're taking out your best defensive player, your anchor on the defensive end that dictates, senses everything, sniffs it, eliminates it, whether it's your best player or your best set or your two-man game. He's disruptive on the defensive end, so you're taking that out to start the ball game. You're allowing the opposition to establish momentum, establish a rhythm, whether it's the best player or the role players, getting open shots, knocking down shots. You look, 81 points the other night in the first half. That's tough to overcome. You also take away your best screen setter on the offensive end. You're basically your point guard on the offensive end, the guy that dictates the flow, the guy that makes life so much easier for Steph Curry offensively. So you're taking a crucial piece of what he brings to the table on both sides of the floor away on a night in, night out basis. And you're allowing the team to start ball games with incredible rhythm. What Kuminga does, bright young talent. What Wiggins does, the level he's playing with, back to his offensive explosiveness. So they bring good things, but they don't bring what's needed, in my opinion. The only way that I could understand making this decision today as a coach, as a former player, understanding management, understanding ownership, understanding trades and free agencies, all that thing. The only way, if I'm trying to highlight Jonathan Kuminga, if I say, he's the next one, and I put him in the starting lineup, setting him up for the okie doke to trade him and ship him somewhere else, that's the only way that I could co-sign not starting Draymond Green and starting Jonathan Kuminga. And I believe his future is awfully bright. But the best situation for the Golden State Warriors is Draymond Green in that lineup. And you can look, the stat sheet don't tell the stories. Kuminga could have 20, Draymond Green could have 6. And you can say, look, it's working. No, it's the intangibles. It's the things that we don't see, the impact that Draymond Green has on winning, and he's done it from day one with the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, I agree, Pops. You bring up a good point. I didn't think about the possibility of a target being put on Kuminga's back. That's kind of crazy. It does kind of look like that because I can't, from a basketball standpoint, understand it. I think we sometimes get detached from how great of a player Draymond is because of some of the antics, some of the things that we've known to go on. But this dude knows how to play the game, and he belongs on the court. He makes life easier for your best player, for your star player. He knows how to come off a screen, how to make a play. He knows on a out of bounds play how to screen and slip and get an easy layup. He knows the game of basketball. And so I think sometimes it's hard to quantify what he brings to the table if you're just talking analytics. But honestly, when I look at Kuminga out there, I don't see an easier game for Steph Curry with Kuminga on the floor as opposed to Draymond Green.
And my problem, I think Kuminga has a bright future. The problem that I have is he has one way today, not what he's capable of, but what he does. He has one way of impacting the game. That's scoring. He should be impacting the game rebounding. He should be impacting the game defensively. He should be impacting the game facilitating, making plays for other guys. The only way he impacts the game today is scoring, and that's not what the Golden State Warriors need. I think adding Dennis Schroeder is going to help them. It makes life easier. It gives them another guy on that court that can initiate offense on his own, that can play out a pick and roll. They haven't had that other than Chris Paul in forever. So outside of Steph Curry, they have not had a point guard that has the ability to say, Steph Curry's on the court or not, I can still make something happen. So it's a welcome sight when you got a guy like Schroeder averaging 18 points, 6.5 assists. He can have an impact on the offensive end of the floor and make life easier for other guys, whether it be for his own offense or for making plays. And defensively, he is absolutely disruptive. We saw it firsthand when Brooklyn played the Nets. We saw it firsthand in FIBA Olympic basketball. He's a big-time talent that's not afraid of the bright lights. Hold up. Did you have a blue cup? Was that coordinated?
Huh?
Can you show your blue cup again?
What you mean, man? What you mean?
Did you coordinate that?
You know, I go to the store, I see something that I like, it stand out to me, so I go get it. But you almost messed up my train of thought, Pops. You said Kuminga's only problem. I cannot let you go without addressing the elephant in the room. I know you can't say this, but I'll say it. Kuminga's swag is too out through the roof for the level of player that he is. I'm sorry. I think he's a good player. I'm not going to jump out the window and say great, but his swag is unbelievable for the level that he's at. If we're looking at that team, there's no big three. Dog, it's just Steph Curry and the rest of y'all. So Tito, do your dances. There's no reason for us we shouldn't be worried about pleasing nobody else, man. It's too much worry about, Kuminga this person that. It should be whatever makes Steph Curry happiest and makes him most comfortable on the court. And in my opinion, that's Draymond Green.
I have no disagreement with that. I think ultimately they will go back to Draymond Green in the starting lineup. I'll bet the house on that.
I hope so. All right, Pops, let's see what else is on the docket, man. Oh, Pops. I know we got to address this. It's a lot on the docket, but I cannot believe this, man. Stephen A was the best Smith in a shootout with my Uncle Kenny. Tell me you saw this.
See, here you are. You got a problem with TikTok giving fake news and fake information, but you just say Stephen A. Smith beats Kenny Smith in a shootout. That's not what happened. Kenny Smith shot left-handed.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that. No, but this is the thing, Pops. You looking at it like Kenny that you grew up with. I'm looking at it like Kenny that I went to the camps. I saw him do crazy things with shooting left-handed, hitting 10, 15 in a row. So I'm looking like, yo, this is Kenny. He's not going to miss. I watched that clip. It broke my heart, man. It was like watching when you watch Roy fight Tarver. It was like, yo, it wasn't the same, man. It wasn't the same. And it hurt my heart for real. Shouts out to Stephen A. That's something that you could nail up. Huh?
He shot 3 for 5 free throws and then shot 100 air balls from three-point land. You know, shout out nobody.
Yo, he won.
No,
You're the same person. If you win, you're leaving out with a win. And then I got to give Stephen A. credit because he showed some humility in his win and still showed Uncle Kenny some love. But I know Uncle Kenny can't. That's an unacceptable loss. That's an unacceptable loss, man.
No, I tell you what's unacceptable. Being from New York City and going for the okie doke. I'm not even having a shootout with Stephen A. Smith. We're not even doing that. I got nothing to prove. I can only lose. If I make 5 out of 5 right-handed, and I'm supposed to. If I make 4 out of 5 and he makes 5 out of 5, he beats me in. No, my career is over with. I've done it. I've done it. We're not doing that unless I know you want to shoot me right-handed. We shoot 10. Okay, I know I'm gonna beat him, but you got to put something up, and it ain't going to charity. Only if I wanted to go to charity. We could have a bet, a gentleman's bet. We could put it on notice. We could film it and everything. I'm gonna put on a clinic, and that's the end of it. Don't worry about what I did with the money that We're not doing it for 20,000. But Kenny, you know better than that. He fell for the okie doke. Yeah, I'm not. Where did it come from? He suggested it. Nobody was like, you shoot it left-handed. Kenny's like, I shoot it left-handed. What? I'm watching TV like, huh?
Nah, he really hits those. That's why I was surprised. I'm like, nah, he's not. I don't think he took Stephen A. seriously. And then when Stephen A. form looked decent too. The swag, you saw the shoulders dip on the free throw, a little shimmy a few times. He was relaxed. He's used to being in front of the cameras. That's what it must have been.
He was 3 for 5. Let me ask you a question. You shoot with your left hand, way better than me. I barely hit the rim with my left hand. I shot one left-handed shot in 17 years in the NBA. So I don't shoot left-handed. Mm-hmm. Would you put up a bet like that? Why would you?
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not
exactly.
doing that. Yeah,
but watch this. You bet him. You beat him in a free throw shooting contest out of 10 though.
Yes, but I'm not gonna. Yeah, but not left-handed though.
That's my point. Why would Kenny even suggest that? He gave free information. He tanked the free throw shooting contest on his own.
That's true. And then I don't need.
And you say Kuminga swag is on 1,000. What's Stephen A. swag on?
No, his swag was on 1,000,000. His swag was on 1,000,000. He walked on the set, dapped everybody up. That's why I was like, yo, they not gonna let him win off of this the way he walked in. They let him walk out with the W, man. I got to tilt my hat to Stephen A., man.
Did you watch the 3-point shooting afterwards when they shot from 3-point line?
Thank you for bringing that up, because I don't need to hear Kenny shoot the 3 and then see Stephen A. shoot and be like, oh, I should have brought you out here. No, you should have cooked them when you should have cooked them. Come on, man. I was cheering. We was rooting for you, Kenny.
I stopped counting. Ernie, Shaq, Charles, Stephen A. I stopped counting at 25 air balls. 25 air balls from 3-point line? Who's going to make an adjustment and make sure, okay, I'm going to break the backboard on the next shot to make sure I get something? They shot air ball after air ball. It was the worst display of shooting I'd ever seen in my life.
Yeah, those are expensive suits, though. So when they was trying to shoot, it was hard for the extent, you know.
Charles took his jacket off. Shaq had his jacket off. Kenny didn't shoot. Ernie took his jacket on, still had the vest on. And Stephen A. had on street clothes, so he had on a hoodie or a Jordan hoodie. There's no excuse. You can go shooting that. You're not going to shoot air balls.
That's true, because none of them changed. It was short. But Father Time is undefeated. That's what I just chalked it up to, because they shoot from Steph Curry range. It's a lot of strength, you know.
You're showing a lot of love and a lot of grace to those dudes. I'm sure that on behalf of those guys, thank you. You know, for the grace you're showing them.
You know, I'm
not.
All right.
Either if I haven't shot in 15 years or 10 years, whatever, then I'm standing up there like Kenny, and Kenny has shot. But I'm standing up there and I'm not going to, this is national TV, I'm not going to take shots. What is Charles doing?
What?
Chuck, you know better. You my guy. Keep the jacket on and do what you do best right now. What you do best right now is not shoot 3-pointers. Don't fall for the okie doke.
Chuck didn't have to even get involved. It was done at that point. He didn't have to join in. But it was.
He should have known right away when Stephen A. went behind him and helped him take off his jacket. Dude.
Yeah, no. Stephen A. knew. He knew. He was like, yo, take this off. Yeah, let's get some more shots up. That was definitely the okie doke. Yeah. You I see clearly now. You're right. It was the okie doke. All right. In other news, Pops, the Lakers are having an interesting season so far. Along with LeBron James missing games, we've seen Bronny have his ups and downs in the G League. What's your overall thoughts on the Lakers?
Why are we saying interesting? Was it interesting last year when Darvin Ham was the coach?
Yeah, it was interesting.
That's not what people were saying. This team has been inconsistent on both sides of the floor. And obviously LeBron has taken time off to make sure he gets healthy and whole, which is understandable this late into his career, the wear and tear on his body. I don't see this team doing anything unless they make a move to improve the talent. They have no legitimate pick and roll threat outside of D'Angelo Russell, who doesn't play as much as in my opinion, he should, because he's the only guy that can create on the offensive end as far as pick and rolls. And I understand the mistakes that he makes, but you're going to have to live with some of those mistakes for what he brings to the table offensively. But this team needs to make make a change and upgrade in talent. If they don't, I don't see them being a threat at all in the Western Conference. And that's a credit to AD playing at a high level early on in this season, LeBron playing at an incredibly high level when you think about the amount of wear and tear and miles on his body. Um, I look at them and I don't know how they could win. Looking at them on a day-to-day basis, are they better than who they're playing against? And 9 times out of 10, I don't see the talent outweighing the opposition.
Yes, it's difficult. This team is, as you said, they're lacking in talent, but they're also lacking in trade pieces. I don't see a way out this season unless somebody hits the bailout button and gives them a player or maybe a buyout opportunity. But I don't think a buyout player is going to be enough to take this team to the next level. It's going to be tough. Would you consider? I've seen it tossed around that LeBron would possibly end up back in Cleveland. Could you see a trade possibly happening?
Only if LeBron wants it. If LeBron says he wants to go back to Cleveland or he wants to play for the Warriors or play for the Phoenix Suns or whoever it may be, if he wants to move on and surrenders the opportunity to continue to wear purple and gold, that's the only way I see that happening. And I think that a lot of heat will come from the media and the fans around this league if he bails out with the Lakers. There was dialogue and conversations last year, reported that Rich Paul from Clutch nipped it in the bud and said, no, he's not going anywhere. I'd be surprised if he goes somewhere. I think it's more likely that they improve the talent that they have by making a trade, utilizing draft choices, utilizing cap flexibility, unloading some expensive contracts, or just there's teams that have star players just trying to regroup and have the opportunity to improve their roster moving forward down. They're not interested in winning today. You can find a dance partner and improve your talent. I think they need an explosive scorer, somebody that makes you cannot have the teams that have great defensive players in their lineup. Let's say the Minnesota Timberwolves. When they started, Jalen McDaniels is a much improved offensive player than he was a year or two ago today. But he's been starting. And the reason you can start him is because you have explosive offensive weapons in Karl-Anthony Towns, Julius Randle, and Anthony Edwards to take the pressure off asking that guy to make plays on the offensive end. Those guys make life easier. When you're the Lakers, you don't have, and I say this respectfully, an explosive offensive dude that forces me to let this guy hurt me. I don't have to worry about the defensive stopper on your team hurting me offensively, and I can concentrate more on limiting the damage that Anthony Davis or LeBron James does when I'm defending them. I could put more pressure on them, and it's tough. It's just tougher to win. It is tougher to win.
Yeah, they seem to me sometimes like an older team. Like I don't know if it's a sort of privilege that they play with, if that's the word I would use, but it's not a hunger when they play. They kind of either win or they lose. They're upset or they're happy at the end of it, but they don't give me that killer mentality that I see when I watch other teams like the Cleveland Cavaliers, like the Boston Celtics. And I hope that the Lakers can change that.
They got to make a change. They got to find a way to improve their talent, or it's going to be a long year. It's going to be a very long year.
We brought up the Cleveland Cavaliers. I know we spoke about them a lot this season, rightfully so. They continue to stay hot. Can you share some of your thoughts, and are they the real deal?
Well, J.B. Bickerstaff last year and the last couple of years done an outstanding job with that team, putting them in position. Kenny Atkinson takes over a ready-made team respectfully and continues to add to his resume as an outstanding basketball mind. That team is looking like a legitimate championship threat, and certainly a threat to come out the East. That can. And I thought this last year that they could beat anybody. The problem last year was the health, individually and collectively. One guy healthy, one guy out, key piece, comes back, another piece leaves. Donovan Mitchell, the concern as a team wears on you. Is he going to sign a long-term deal? Is he just here for this year? Who knows if he's all in or not? Now there's no concerns. Evan Mobley, they play more through him. They allow him to initiate offense. He's shooting the three ball. He's getting more post touches. Darius Garland, healthy and whole, as explosive as it comes, the ability to create offense on his own, shooting the basketball, playing out of pick and roll. Donovan Mitchell, explosive, can carry an offense, allowing other guys to get involved and make plays. He chills. I watched some games where he was on the bench in the fourth quarter, cheering, standing up, communicating. That's part of a culture. That's part of a winning identity, and it becomes contagious when your best players have that approach. Jared Allen, healthy and whole, no issues at all the first part of this season. They are a team that's a dangerous team with versatility. Karis LeVert, again playing for a guy he played for in Brooklyn that believed in him as a young guy, Kenny Atkinson, when he was coaching Brooklyn Nets. So now all of a sudden he's playing for a coach he's familiar with that trusts him, and he can let his hair down and make plays and not be afraid to make mistakes. This is a team that's clicking on all cylinders right now. The only concern for me is, are they peaking early? And I don't believe that at all. But they want to be sustaining this energy and effort and enthusiasm for 82 games, and then come postseason, make sure you're healthy and whole, and make sure that you've done enough damage where when you're in a must-win situation, you did everything you can to make sure that that win has to take place in Cleveland. Somebody's got to come to your house to eliminate you. And they are an awfully impressive team that defends, that shares the basketball, and look like they're having extreme fun.
Shouts out to the Cavaliers, man. Yeah, they awesome, man. In other news, New York basketball. What's up, Pops? The Knicks looking good, man. The Knicks looking good. What you think?
Looking good. They're 16-10. I think they're a good team. I don't think today they're a championship team. They've been inconsistent, which has been puzzling to me to a certain extent. They lost a lot. Now, they gained a lot in Karl Anthony Towns, a home run talent that's a future Hall of Famer, that's explosive from the three-point line, posting up, and also is an underrated, outstanding passer. They gained a lot in that. They lost Julius Randle, who was out last year, so let's say that's a scratch. But Dante DiVincenzo, who was shooting the basketball at a career clip from three-point land and embracing the toughness, the grit, and the grind of New York City. Isaiah Hartenstein, toughness, a big man that can, play the horns action, that can post up, that can make plays, that can set great screens, that can rebound and do all the dirty, gritty, grindy stuff. You're missing a heck of a lot that was part of the identity of who you was as a basketball team last year. It's clear. Have they improved the talent? When you get Karl Anthony Towns, you get Mikal Bridges, you certainly improved the talent. So that's not debatable. But you lost some of the toughness, the grit, the scratch and claw, the go get it mentality that made you so successful last year. And they've got to find that, because I didn't have to beg DiVincenzo or Hartenstein to defend or share the basketball or be tough or lay somebody down. Do you know, and this will make you laugh, Trae Young shot dice at the logo? Now, I'm not one of these old guys saying, "Oh, what would have happened?" I know he'd have got hit. Now, not to hurt him, but to send a message that's not tolerated. Picked him up at half court when that was taking place and sent him to the free throw line to send a message that's not to be tolerated. They let him roll. He didn't just roll dice twice, 3 times. He was there blowing on the dice, rolling it, picking it up, scooping it up. I'm like, what? This dude is like he was in the park in New York City. That can't be tolerated. Yeah. And I like him, but that can't. If I'd say the same thing if Jalen Brunson was doing it in Atlanta. That's unacceptable. And everybody was sitting there like it was cool.
Yeah, I agree. The Knicks, as much as I think that it is a group of good basketball players that know how to play the game, it is also a group of nice guys, good guys, and that comes across sometimes when they play. that grittiness that you said is not there. OG Anunoby is playing great, but he's shooting so much. Are you watching games too? He shoots a lot, man. That's John Wick. Okay, that's letting it go. Like what?
No, his swag offensively is on 1,000.
It's gone. Like it's
And he's a
gone.
very good player. That's an outstanding defender and a great piece for a winning basketball team. But he's got to understand to embrace the role. I don't need you getting 25 a night. If you get 25, that's a bonus. That's because we're making adjustments on how you're being defended or getting to going in transition. That's not because the game plan dictates you to get as many touches as possible and shoot as many times as possible to get 25. That's not who he is, and that's not what best fits this basketball team today.
Yeah, and I think we look at Jalen Brunson's numbers, and though his scoring is down, I would be able to argue that up until this point of the season, he's playing better than he was last year from visuals perspective. He's doing a lot. It's a lot on that dude's plate. I mean,
I'm not going to co-sign that. He had an incredible year last year and made big shot after big shots, and he's having a very good year. I don't question his toughness, his competitive spirit, his ability to score in a variety of ways. Josh Hart, I don't question it. He's a jerk on the court. I don't question his toughness and his nastiness and his willingness to do the dirty things. OG, again, I don't question that. My question is he concentrate too much on the offensive end instead of buying in with the intangibles that can make this team a much better basketball team. Anthony Towns, that's not who he is. That's not who he is, so I can't ask him to get out of character. But what I could do is ask him to move a little bit more to what we need him to be. But he's an explosive talent that makes up some of the things, deficiencies that he has defensively. He makes up with that on the offensive end. So it's a give and take in that situation. But this team has got to get back to being tougher on a nightly basis. And if they are tougher and defend on a high level on a nightly basis, everything else will fall into place. You can't think I'm going to outscore Cleveland when it matters most. I'm going to outscore Boston when it matters most. I'm going to outscore Atlanta. Teams like Miami, Philadelphia, if they're healthy. I mean, you got to say we were built to win because of how we defended on a nightly basis.
yeah. Well, you got to give Cat a little time, Pops. He's in the time capsule right now. He's upgrade. He just got to New York. You ain't even let him hit a summer. He ain't even hit Dykeman yet. You see the swag. You saw him when he was on the post and he looked down at him and was like, looked at the ref and then shot. You saw the swag is getting right. Just give him a couple more months. Let him listen to some tunes. Let him ride around the city. He'll get it right.
I'm sitting there telling you he's an elite, all-time great talent. He's a future
I'm saying,
Hall
but
of
you
Famer.
looking for the nitty gritty. He'll get it. It's getting there. It's getting there. Just let him give him a little time. You see the chip on his shoulder. He was in Minnesota for a while. He in the city now.
I see him shooting a three at a high level. I see him posting at a high level. I see him getting rebounds and scoring. I just want to set the tone defensively and shock people that question him defensively. He's more than capable of doing it, so I want to see it. And then I don't want to see when you run through somebody, don't look at the ref like what that was. No, that's an offensive foul. I'm so tired. Not just calling down, watch like dudes are looking at the refs like, what do you call? That's a foul. That's a travel. That's over the back. Whatever it is, own it and get back. Yeah. Today these guys are like, what are you calling that, dude? Did you watch that? I wish the referee was having a small TV in their pocket and just look at this, man. What do you ask me? What did I see? Clearly, what you did is run through the dude. Clearly, what you did was take 5 steps as a traveler. Now get back.
Pops, let's go to the West Coast. Recently, it was a big game by Jokic. We haven't spoke since. He had about 55 points with a triple-double. Afterwards, he called out a couple of teammates, not by name, but he basically said it may be time for us to start taking people's paychecks if they don't start playing well or cutting. You got the gist of it. And if y'all didn't, y'all can go look it up. But Pops, what do you think about this?
I understand what he's saying. I don't need him to go all the way there, but I understand what he's saying, and it's refreshing to see a superstar player, the best player on his team, hold guys accountable across the board. Say we got to be better, because when you look at the Denver Nuggets and you look at the way they played early on in this season, now they're making ground, but they have underachieved, and obviously not being healthy and whole makes a difference. But this is a team that has championship DNA. This is a team that knows how to win. So when they're missing pieces, they should still be able to win basketball games at a level that puts them in a comfortable place come playoff until they get healthy. So I like the fact that he's becoming more and more vocal, and he's becoming less and less tolerant with a team that's underachieving individually and collectively. So it raises the stakes, turns up the volume, turns up the heat on the supporting cast, and it puts pressure on them. And I like the way he did it, because he didn't do it in the sense that I'm getting 50 in triple-double, I'm getting 40 in the triple-double. What y'all doing? No. He said we got to be better. And there's some guys that say that, and you could see it. They joking. They don't mean we. They mean them. He really put himself in the middle of it all and said, we got to get better. And I think they will turn it around and be a dangerous team as we all expect when it matters most. But he's having an incredible season, putting together some awfully impressive numbers, continuing to climb the charts of not just one of the greatest centers to ever play this game, but one of the greatest players to ever play this game.
I feel that, Pops.
Can we say that in Denver, Colorado for a minute?
What's up?
I got to give a special shout out to the Heisman Award winner, Travis Hunter.
Oh,
Coach
yeah.
Prime, Shedeur Sanders, and that Colorado Buffs football team. I sat in a restaurant during the telecast, it was a restaurant I go to quite a bit, so they take care of me, put me in front of the TV, turn the volume up, and I cried like a baby watching Deion Sanders hug Travis Hunter, watching Travis Hunter's moms give an interview, watching the love between Travis and Shedeur and Coach Prime. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, impacting folks in a way where it's not about me, it's about you and getting you to a place. The respect and the admiration and appreciation that Travis has for Coach Prime is what it's supposed to be when you're coaching and impacting folks. And I mean on any level, not just high school, AAU, college, pro. On any level, your job is to impact and make a difference. And Coach Prime has put on a clinic in doing just that. Think about it. This dude made a gamble. He was the number one player in the country and went to Jackson State to follow Coach Prime and Shedeur Sanders, and then went and followed them to Colorado. And now he's the best player in the country and on his way to making crazy money. But they had me crying like a baby, man. And I with no embarrassment, it just was a good feeling. And congrats to Coach Prime, Travis Hunter, Shedeur, and the entire Buff Nation.
Yeah, that was unbelievable to see. One thing though, Pops, I'm tired of hearing everybody talk about this man and his fiance. And it's people who don't even have a good relationship at home. Your girl won't even buy you 2K for Christmas, and you over here nitpicking this man and his girl's relationship. Leave them alone. He already said it himself. That's the woman that he's with. Y'all over here living like they the Kardashians. He's obviously not opening the relationship up for y'all. So let it be. He seemed happy and he's cooking. He's cooking. I could see if he wasn't doing well, if it was something that he seemed unhappy about. The dude is wearing a big smile and living his best life, shouting out his pops and winning the Heisman. Get off his pops. I'm sorry, we on the show, but y'all know. Get off his jockstrap, man.
There's a lot of, I mean, you're right. I understand what the people are saying because you nitpick, but that's not your job to nitpick. And we're dealing with folks that have had failed relationship after failed relationship after failed relationship. You're not an expert on this topic. Leave it alone. Let them be young. Let them love each other and appreciate each other and have a bright future together. Let's wish them the best and stay out of their business.
Yeah, that's facts, Pops. That's facts. All right, staying in the West Coast, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the Mavericks. They looking good, man. LUKA, Clay, they got some bigs over there that's balling. Kyrie. What do you think about this team and what's their ceiling?
Jason Kidd is an outstanding coach and has this team again clicking. Luka's healthy, put on a clinic the other night in Golden State, triple-double with 45 points. And Kyrie, the thing I love about Kyrie, he's not fighting Luka to be the man. He is comfortable being the second best player on the floor, whether willingly or unwillingly, whether fact or not. And he's comfortable with getting guys touches and their shots in the middle of all the action. He is comfortable when it matters most. LUKA don't have a good day or struggling or teams make an adjustment, double teaming him. He is comfortable and fine with being that dude when it matters most. I love the way Kyrie is playing, where he embraces the challenges and embraces the bright lights. Luke is an elite all-time great talent. Klay Thompson is seems like feeling more and more comfortable in a Mavericks uniform. They've done a great job of getting some versatile wings that can score, can defend, and bring toughness. They got two bigs that can dive and set screens and finish at the rim with anybody in the league. This team is going to be tough to beat when it matters most. I really like them, and I like the shooting that they improved as a shooting basketball team with the decisions made in the offseason.
I think it's going to be interesting to see if they match back up with the Boston Celtics. Speaking of the Boston Celtics, do you see them making it back to the championship and repeating?
I mean, that has to be the pick. They're the best team in basketball. My only concern with the Boston Celtics, I love their identity. Joe Mazzulla is an outstanding coach, has done a brilliant job. They defend at a high level. Will they be healthy? Porzingis is valuable and key. Gives them versatility, size, rim protection, ability to shoot the three-point shot from the center position. Al Horford also does that. My thing with when you shoot the three at such a high clip, and your name is not Steph Curry or Klay Thompson, you are going to go cold at some point. How do the Celtics, the adjustment for them is shoot more threes. The adjustment is not like, okay, I'm putting my head down and make plays towards. They want to shoot 50 threes a night. They want to continue to, and it's not, okay, Tatum shoot 14, Brown shoot 10. It's, if you open, shoot it. So any one of those guys, 1 through 5, can shoot the three-point shot at any point. That works when you're hitting them, but when you're not, you can be out of sync, you can lose a rhythm, and you can get tight. You can put so much pressure on you on the other end that you wind up losing basketball games. They're the best team in basketball, but that's my only concern with them. How much, whether it's analytics or beliefs, whatever it is, they're persuaded to shoot the three. When it gets tight, do they have a plan B? I think I'd love to see Tatum and Brown get some more of the offense flow through them, where they can take over games individually and get shots off of their stellar offensive play. I think that's a much easier route. That's why I'm doing a podcast with Bluu, and Joe Mazzulla is sitting in the big chair with championship ring on.
Oh man!
All right, you know, I want to. You got something to say about the Celtics?
No. Go ahead.
I want to go back west and talk about the Houston Rockets. I think that's a team that the future's awfully bright for them. The versatility, the toughness, the edge, the defensive mentality, home run hitters. One thing I would do if I was Ime Udoka, who's done an outstanding job and is a brilliant basketball mind, I'd take the chains off of Jalen Green a little bit and allow him, because he's an explosive offensive force. I think you got to allow him to let his hair down a little bit and be a little bit more creative on the offensive end. He can get you 20, 25 points a night. And that team has youth, has experience on the bench if needed, has buy-in, has great leadership. Sengun is, I got a nickname for him. Nobody has used, so give me my credit. I got a nickname. I heard everybody say Baby Joker. No, I got a nickname. The nickname for Sengun is the Riddler. He's not quite the Joker, but he's not quite the Joker, but he's a problem.
That's tough.
He's a problem.
I like the Riddler.
Make sure y'all give me my props.
Hey, I like the Riddler, Pops. There's nobody else in the room but us, but I feel like the room clapped when you said that. I feel the approval. The Riddler is
I
tough.
think it could take off. That's what I'm naming him, and hopefully it catches on and he embraces it. But it's a compliment. Nobody's quite like the Joker, but he is the next biggest problem with similar problems that you got to deal with on a nightly basis. So the Riddler it is.
So, Dad, I know we talked about it a little bit, but I want to give you the opportunity to give the late, great coach Lou Carnesecca his flowers and maybe give your thoughts, show some love while we show some pictures of both of y'all over the years.
Well, it was a tough week last week. Went the homegoing service of Coach Carnesecca. The great thing about it was I was able to see some former teammates and spend time with them and tell some great stories, and see also another one of my incredible coaches and influences, and Coach Fatina was head coach of St. John's. But it was a fun time, even getting back, being in the gym, sensing all the great memories and reflecting on the moments having at the gym with Coach, with my incredible teammates, with his family and his loved ones. It was an awesome time, and salute. You know, one thing I thought about, and it really blessed me because as a coach, watching two guys that were Coach Carnesecca's lieutenants, Ron Rutledge and Brian Mahoney, his two main assistants all those years, watching them at the homegoing service, still stand there with them, still in support, still loyal lieutenants. I salute those guys, because that's what it's all about also. It's not about the players only, the family, the influences, but who did you do it with? He had two guys that he can trust till death do them part, and they didn't disappoint. All those great players came because of the work done by those assistants and the closing ability of Coach Carnesecca. So it was an awesome time to celebrate his life, his legacy, and say thank you to a man that impacted not just a basketball team, basketball players, but the entire world. Salute Coach Carnesecca. It was emotional. It was tough. I flew in on a red eye, flew back home 3 p.m. the next day. So I spent 4, 5, 6 hours in New York. I flew back, but it was well worth it. And somebody I'll never forget, and I'll continue to live my life to continue to make him proud.
Yeah, our condolences to Coach Lou Carnesecca's family and anybody that knew or loved him or have been impacted by his life. I guess, Pops, what I want to know is, he wasn't a 7-foot tall man. I want to know, what was it about Coach that made him able to talk to such highly skilled, highly gifted athletes over the year and garner their attention in their ear?
He wasn't full of himself. And I think the benefit that he had, and I say this respectfully because he told me in our many conversations, he didn't come in as a basketball coach. His first love was a baseball coach. He was a baseball coach. And I believe a week before the season started, when he was coaching the baseball team, the basketball coach somehow got fired or got sick or whatever, and they needed to fill in the role of a basketball coach. And Coach was the baseball coach and took over. So I said, how did you do it? He said, I didn't know what I was doing. He let the players play. And that was what he did his entire life. He learned the game of basketball. He was a student of the game. He learned from brilliant basketball minds, but he never made it seem like he had all the answers. And he let guys play. And most importantly, he loved his players. He loved his players. And the one promise he made to my mom and dad, and I get emotional because I see Coach Prime saying the same thing to Travis Hunter's mom or to Travis Hunter's dad or all the kids that he coached. He said, I promise you, you send him to me a boy. When he leaves, he's going to be a man. Coach Carnesecca said the exact words to my parents. He's coming in as a boy, a young man. He's going to leave a man. And he did not disappoint. 4 years later, I left a man with a college degree and totally changed my perspective and thoughts on life and how to succeed. Mission accomplished. And that's what it is. That makes the next dude want to come. And the next dude want to come to the school. And the next dude want to wear that uniform and that jersey because of the impact that is so noticeable that you made on their lives. And it continues to this day.
That's beautiful. Shout out to our sponsor, Underdog. Go ahead and click the link in the description and use the promo code MARK, that's M-A-R-K. They're matching a first-time deposit of up to $1,000, and you can also get a specialty pick. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Remember, I was watching football the other day. Indianapolis Colts against the Denver Broncos. The Colts was winning when all of a sudden they hand the football off to their superstar running back, Jonathan Taylor. He sprinted coast to coast for a 41-yard touchdown. Started to celebrate, team high-fiving him, sideline going crazy, the fans going crazy. But all of a sudden, the referees reviewed the play and realized that Jonathan Taylor dropped the ball before he scored. Therefore neglecting the touchdown that he just scored. His team wound up losing the football game, and he was discouraged. They talked to him afterwards. The reporters asked him a question. What happened? He said, I made a mistake. It can't happen. It's inexcusable. I know better. It's not to be tolerated. He made that point. What I'm talking to you is, you dropped the ball, but you keep on dropping the ball. You keep on blaming other folks. Jonathan Taylor owned it, and the thing he said at the end really blessed me. He said, I guarantee you that'll never happen again. That should be your mentality with the mistakes you're making. You drop the ball, own it. It's time to win. Blessings.